Hello there.
Welcome back, my friend.
Hello, what have we here?
Jedi, we've been expecting you.
Knew I could count on you.
Hello.
Welcome to the rebellion.
What fun!
Hey everyone, Hybrid here, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Star Wars The Black Series Clone Commander Doom. This is a really, really cool and exciting action figure. You know, for the longest time we have been getting clone commanders, and they have been pretty much Clone Wars and movie very heavy focus ones, right? You know, your Commander Cody, Commander Bly, Captain Rex, but there's a lot of obscure ranked clones that maybe only appear in one episode of the Clone Wars, and they have some very cool designs, and recently we have gotten a couple of them as Target exclusives, Clone Commander Doom being one of. He looks really, really cool, and I'm just super excited to tear this guy open. He's from the opening arc of Season 6 of the Clone Wars, the arc where Clone Trooper Tup's inhibitor chip fails and nearly warns the Jedi way in advance of Order 66. What a parallel reality that could have been. Let's go ahead and dive on in and see if Clone Commander Doom is one that you need to be adding to your collection. Here's Commander Doom in the packaging. It is your standard Black Series packaging, being the normal black box with your Black Series logo. It's all in yellow because it's the Star Wars The Clone Wars subline. Number 23 in that subline is Clone Commander Doom. You have the window showing him and his two pistol accessories off very nicely, a bit of a background going on in there. Warning 4+ Hasbro. This side of the box features really cool art of him standing there cross-armed, his name down below that. This side features your wraparound window, wraparound stripe, Black Series logo down below. Around back, another Black Series logo, a zoom in on that side art, his name, and then some information about the storyline from that opening arc. Number 23 once more in the Clone Wars line, much of legal stuff, Disney and Hasbro logos, barcodes, more legal stuff, and a hanger tab up top. Very standard action figure packaging. Let's go ahead and get this guy out of the box and see what's going on. Here's Commander Doom out of the packaging, and to take a quick look first at his accessories, he does come with the two Clone Trooper DC-17 pistols. We've seen these a ton of times in the line before. They are in a very, very dark gray, almost black colored plastic. No paint to be had on them, but that is screen accurate. They are just all black. He features two working hip holsters that the blasters fit into like so, and something I'm noticing on his belt actually is the straps for the holsters. Normally they're supposed to be kind of in the middle, and I'm noticing that they're kicked forward a notch. I suspect this belt is a new mold, with that being the only change, but it is cool seeing them a little bit further forward, so very interesting. Another thing that I do want to report happily is he is a character that uses two pistols. Hasbro historically has not given us dual trigger fingers, but he does have a dual trigger finger setup here. They had made a new Clone Trooper hand about 2 years ago with dual trigger finger at the introduction of the 2023 clone mold, and even with that hand we don't always get that. So that's very, very nice. So now, taking a look at Commander Doom, I gotta say he's a very different looking clone trooper. I mean, for starters, most clone troopers are just white, you know, with little accents. There is nothing white on him except for his face. The arms, the legs, they're gray. He's got a lot of green going on. The brown belt is very unusual. It's a very striking design. He looks very, very good. The yellow just really, really pops on this guy. Really just a very visually dynamic design. And that's one of those things is, gosh, like I said, sometimes they make these clones that show up for like a minute in one episode, and gosh, the designers put the most work into that clone of all of the clones. And so I'm sitting here looking at this, and I'm like, gosh, this guy's beautiful. Why does he only have 2 minutes total of screen time? 2 pretty important minutes as far as the galaxy goes, but still, just a very interesting design. Speaking of the design, I actually had a very fun conversation with my friend Vincent of Carbonites. Go ahead and check out Carbonites if you're somehow unfamiliar. He's been on all my Talking Toys streams for the longest time. But when we were on our way to Kokomo, Indiana a couple weeks back, excellent toy hunt vlog. I will remember to hyperlink that up there. We were talking about this figure, and he was pointing out that there were some inaccuracies on that. And I'll stand by him on that, because Vincent, when he makes his designs, he is very, very studious. You know, he even though this guy has 2 minutes of screen time, he is poring over every resource possible. And there are some interesting things with Doom. While I don't think that he's wildly inaccurate to the degree that Vincent says, that's for me and him to discuss, there are some interesting things in the show. For instance, they'll flip his model for whatever reason. Sometimes his shoulder pad is yellow on this side and gray on this side, and then sometimes it's yellow on this side and gray on this side. I think for the general amalgamation of all the oddities that happen with his model, he's never really front and center in the episode that he's in. He's always kind of in a mob of clones, so there's always like a lot of different things going on around him. And it just really makes a kind of a hard model. And there's all sorts of issues with the Clone Wars models, the Clone Trooper hair clipping through the helmets and stuff like that. It really just, it's kind of a what frame are you looking at type of situation. But I think generally he is overall fairly accurate, again, in that way that an amalgamation would have to be. And he looks really good. One of the things I really love is he has some weathering going all over him. On the green of the chest, he has a lot of gray scuffing going on. Kind of gives you the illusion that like the green paint's being rubbed off and the white armor's starting to poke through, but it's still there a little bit. I like the gray limbs, and he has a nice heavy wash going down all the limbs. It's a little bit streaky. It kind of looks like, I don't know if any of you have ever done like carpentry, like staining wood. You get like the black stain on the rag and you wipe it down the board and you've got all that kind of just, there's lines in it. You have to go and do it a few times. This is only like one hit. There's lines in it, but it effectively does make him look grungier, and he does look really good for it. Some people have talked about his comma, not laying flat. I think a big thing to do with that is him just being squished in a plastic tray in an action figure box for a while. It's a very nice, pliable, soft fabric, and I think that just having him out of the box a little bit will ultimately help. But yeah, he's got some nice yellow iron-on, like stripes going on there. Looks very good. And let's not ignore the namesake here, Commander Doom. He's one of a couple clones for Season 6 that were Marvel inspired, and so he has his general design inspired by Doctor Doom. And with Avengers Doomsday coming up, what better a time to make his figure, right? Doom has like armor on his limbs, and he's got that like green fabric, torso overlay, and he's got a brown belt that he wears over that. And then a hood with a silver mask. So, it kind of all comes together in Clone Trooper design. One interesting thing on the reuse here, not entirely sure how I feel about it. The chest is reuse from Phase 2 Commander Cody, the new one, the good one, and that gives him like his rank tag, and that's nice. But spinning around back, they just plugged the hole in his back that Commander Cody's jetpack's supposed to be in. I don't entirely know how I feel about that. I think putting a plug in it draws attention to it, whereas just not putting a plug in it leaves people imagining, it's for jetpacks or backpacks that just didn't come with him or whatever. So I don't entirely know where I fall there, truthfully. I think it might have been better just to leave it a hole, but the plug doesn't look horrible. It's just eye-catching. But yeah, other than that, just a very, very nice-looking trooper. Oh, and one final thing. There's no head under that helmet. That is a solid plastic head sculpt, so there's not going to be any people worrying about my warped helmet. That's not actually warped. You're just, like, nitpicking the line to death. Don't get me wrong, there are some that have, but, I think a lot of people get a little over the top about that. And, while I do like the novelty of knowing there's a guy under the helmet, gosh, that's going to make a lot of people shut up, and that's worth it to me, too. So let's go ahead and run through some articulation. Again, pretty much a 2023 clone sculpt. We've seen it before, so you should be familiar, but we'll do it all the same. The head looks that far up, that far down. Of course, you get your side-to-side and a bunch of pivot in there. The arms can come up to a T-pose. There's a nice deep butterfly joint. 360 at the shoulder, and the shoulder pad is on that ring. It can travel with the arm. It can stay out of the way. Single-jointed elbows go a little bit past 90, swivel at the elbow, although the bicep swivel turns easier. And then there's a 360 at the wrist, and both of these hands hinge up and down. The mid-torso ball joint allows them to go that far back, which is not a huge amount. You can crunch that far forward, which is a little bit. Get some rotation and some pivot in there. He can do a pretty wide splits, kick his leg if you use that thigh swivel that far forward. a little bit back. As mentioned, there is a thigh swivel, and then the single jointed knees go pretty far past 90 and then swivel at the knee. The knee pad is just floating in there, which is nice, and then the feet can point pretty far down, really far forward, and there's a forward-facing pin for rocker, allowing you to get Doom in some pretty wide stances, trying to keep both feet flat on the ground. While Jedi Masters Tiplar, Tipley, and Doom's troopers are notably absent from the line, they are joined by the 501st in his 2 minutes of screen time. And while this Anakin is not accurate as you would need a Season 3 Anakin, Hasbro just doesn't want to acknowledge Season 3 Anakin or Obi-Wan. So, here he is with Rex, who looks incredibly dated next to all these newer, nicer clone troopers. The ARC Trooper 5s, who is very important in this arc. And then Tup, who, again, Hasbro has not made. I suspect he's probably coming now that they've made that Umbara 2-pack with a hard case and Dogma. But Tup here is a Vales Toys knockoff, but a very nice one. So Vales has always done nice work. Vales has also done Doom Squad Troopers, but they are like $35 each, so I've not really bit the bullet on them yet. But now that we have Doom, maybe I should grab one or two. It'd be nice to take a look at that weird 3.0 body thing that they made. Looks like it has some good articulation. Let me know in the comments if I should pick one up. So at the end of the day, what do I think of the new Clone Commander Doom? Gosh, this guy's really, really good. This is one of those just standout figures that you want to show someone. Like when you're talking about how awesome a Hasbro Black Series clone figure can be. Like, this is one where you're going to be like, gosh, look at this one. Look at all this paint. Look at all this, like, awesome articulation. Look at him. I mean, gosh, a one-legged run-in pose, both blasters straight in front of him on a spinning stand. Like, I'm just saying, it's fun. I really like this figure. He looks really good. Like me and Vincent discussed, gosh, there might be a couple inaccuracies, but they're very, very minor, and it depends on what moment in the show you're looking at. So, it's kind of up in the air a little bit. But as a general amalgamation, he does a really nice job of looking like Commander Doom. And for all the screen time he has, he'll fit the part for your shelf. So, really, really liking this guy. I think you will too. He seems to be at most targets right now, and he should be in and out of stock online. So, order him, go hunt him up. I think he's a good addition to your collection. And keep an eye out. My next review is going to be on Commander Thorn, the accompanying figure to this one. So that's all I got for now. Thank you so much for hanging out. May the Force be with you. I will catch you next time. Until then, I hope you all go on to have a great day. Bye.